Good day, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I'm joined by Sergio Blanco from IAMS as well as Nate Self from GILICO. We've got some exciting news to share with you regarding an update to their WealthChoice product, which will be a guaranteed rate for the entire 5, 7, or 10-year term. A couple of things about the webinar. We're going to have a few polls during the webinar. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to send those over to us and we'll get those answered for you. Additionally, we'll have a few polls during the webinar. We'd love your participation in there. The first thing that I want to highlight before I kick it over to Sergio is one of the things that we hang our hat over here is our best-in-class customer service. This is something that we provide with a live person to answer your phone calls. So no longer do you have to sit there and wait 10, 20, sometimes 30 seconds for that name to pop up on the dial by name directory. You're going to get a live person every single time that you call in. So we will turn this over to GILICO here in about 10 or 11 slides. But Sergio does have some very important information to share with you on the programs and services that we offer to agents just like you. So with that, Sergio, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Tim. So we have our new producer builders. For those of you who are new to us at IAMS, these bonuses are available based on your production level in your first 180 days of contracting with us. We do have great levels that you can qualify at. As you can see inside each level, there are some great options for you. We've got incredible business building tools, personal perks for you, and even cash rewards are available. If you'd like to know where you stand toward your new producer builder, or if you would like to have a conversation about how to achieve that next level, please give us a call. You can talk to me, Tim, or your sales director. Another business builders program that we provide for our advisors is our referred producer program. I do see a few advisors on with us today that have taken advantage of this program. Our business on the wholesale side of the industry is similar to yours in the field in that one of the best leads we could ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued producers. This is why we want to make it worth your while to refer a producer to us. With that, you refer a producer to us and they get contracted, we will cut you a $50 thank you check. Now, where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, you will receive an override on that business. Our ownership team, Charles, Steve, Curtis, and Chris, they sign checks for thousands of dollars every quarter. With that being said, if you can think of anyone that could benefit from doing business with our team, please type their information to the questions box, or you can email myself, Tim, with that information. Below that is our marketing reimbursement program, which is our most popular program that we offer. For every $100,000 in FIA premium, that gets you $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. Now, why this is so popular and lucrative for our advisors is that we truly do consider this to be your money. You have the flexibility on what services, when, and who you use these funds with. It is your marketing reimbursement. We don't tell you the vendors you have to use. We do recommend vendors that we partner with and leverage reduced rates and preferred service. We also have our creative team to create a marketing strategy and provide in-house services. If you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account or have a conversation about how to utilize it, give me, Tim, or your sales director a call at our office. We'd love to speak to you about that. Back office support. This is going to be another way that we add value to your business. This is the core of IAMS and how Charles Shearing founded us years ago. We want to help the independent advisor work smarter, not harder. We're going to do that with great business building tools and resources. Of course, advanced case design assistance, life and annuity quotes is an area that we assist with. We're going to get you those illustrations that you request within 24 hours. And honestly, in reality, you're going to get that much quicker, usually within the hour. Submission to commission support is handled by our new business teams. Mackenzie heads up the annuity team and Michelle heads up the life side. They have fantastic teams who work tirelessly to help you get commissioned quicker. We'll scrub your applications, submit them on your behalf, do the administrative tracking, and get you updates on the cases needed. We do this to ensure you get commissioned as quickly as possible. This is a service that we provide to our valued producers, and how we help you grow your practice by keeping you in front of clients while our team handles the back office support for you. Our website is a great tool for our producers to use, and another reason to work with IAMS. Once you're contracted, you have full access to everything you see on this slide, and so much more at iamsinc.com. If you haven't registered for the website, it's very simple to do. So when we're done with this call, go ahead and create an account. We'd love to see you on there. A lot of great resources are available to you, including illustration tools, online forums, product grids, product news, industry updates are out there for you as well. Technology is where the industry is going. Luma is our newest partnership to streamline the application process. Most of our carriers are now on our Luma Firelight eApp platform, so you can go to one site to submit business. It is COVID friendly, and some carriers are going to eApp only for some of their product lines, and will also offer extra comp for utilizing the eApp platform. Make sure you ask your sales director before you submit a paper app to see if you can earn more commissions by doing eApp. We have a full in-house creative team, so we can help you help your practice, and a lot of items are turnkey and available for you. Many of our sales resources are white labeled, so we can simply impose your contact information and your business logos onto it. Speaking of logos, Agency Solutions is an expertise for our team. If you haven't created a full customized brand for you and your agency, we can help with that. This is going to assist you with the name recognition, which grows your natural market organically. Lastly, digital marketing solutions are a very popular topic around IAMS. We can help you with websites, social media marketing, email marketing, and more. The internet and social media sites are where the overwhelming majority of prospects go to for information. Make sure you are accessible and represented in those marketing lanes. It is beneficial to growing your practice. You can reach out to myself or one of our sales directors with a call when this webinar concludes to talk to them about how you can access IAMS Creative. We can certainly get that ball rolling for you. IAMS also offers a complimentary marketing analysis for agents looking to explore new sales ideas and programs. Whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned producer, this free assessment can help you boost your business with insights on your website, digital presence, branding, and current marketing activities, as well as recommendations on trusted vendors for everything from lead generation to seminars and social content. Again, reach out to me, Tim, or your sales director to get started at any time. We founded IAMS Wealth several years ago, and what we've done is grow this division of IAMS very organically. We've helped advisors become IARs and pass the Series 65 at a very successful clip. Once we have you registered, we'll bring great value to your practice with an incredibly competitive fee structure for both you and your clientele. We have great technology and a great investment platform. This has been a major growth sector for our business, and assets under management could be a major growth sector for your business as well.
Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate that. Got a couple more slides here before we turn it over to Nate and GILICO. Our life and annuity academies are in-person training academies. Now, we add a tremendous amount of value. On the last one, listen to this ratio. We had 32 agents and 21 presenters, so there's no shortage of value. We're going to go over those top marketing strategies that other agents have in their toolbox, and maybe you could add it to yours to get some consistent success on the revenue piece. We'll also go over industry highlights, advanced sales strategies, and then product highlights. I'm going to go ahead and launch our first poll. That is, would you like to have some more information? Actually, I don't have that on this here, but if you do have any questions or would like some more information on these annuity academies, make sure that when Sergio and I give you a buzz, that you are ready for that. I will go ahead and launch a poll because I do want to get some interaction here, and that is, did you meet your revenue goal in 2024. I know it says 2023 or quarter three there, but you're just looking for revenue goals and where you're at on that. So if you could participate in that one, I would appreciate it. We'll go ahead and roll over to our next slide, which is going to be our trek to Quebec. This is a fantastic top producer trip to Quebec City. Now, the qualifications are about 7 months out from when we end that. That'll be June 30th of 2024. We've also got our Beachy King trip, which there's open qualification for that, and that goes all the way through next year. So 2 great trips to qualify for. Thank you for the participation on that poll there. Do appreciate it. Got one more slide here before we turn it over to Nate, and that is if you haven't followed us on Facebook or LinkedIn, we put rate changes out here, industry updates, as well as a lot of other communication. Great way to stay connected with us over here at IAMS and just get those updates sent directly to your email. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Nate while he pulls up his presentation. Just a couple things here about GILICO or Guaranteed Income Life. I've had a long working relationship with this carrier over 7-8 years now, and a great relationship with Nate. If we have any issues, we've got a contact person that we can give a buzz to. We're not going to have to worry about being on hold for an hour and 15 minutes and then getting dropped and having to call back in. The support that you get with GILICO is phenomenal, and Nate is a great resource. So with that, he's going to talk to you about some of the great functionality and features of this product to go with that best-in-class service. Nate, the floor is yours, sir.
Very good. Thank you so much, Tim, and thank you, everybody, for spending a little bit of your afternoon or lunch with us to go over some exciting enhancements that find the way into the industry because of the still elevated interest rate environment. What carriers are still able to offer with the longer term yields holding strong is really powerful to be able to help and mitigate any potential renewal rate concerns or lower interest rates in the future. So it's a really great time to be still talking about index annuities. And we have been planning to launch this for a little bit and are excited that it did go live on Monday. So I do want to give a shout out to IAMS, one of our true best partners, helping distribute and help tell the story about GILICO and what we do and what makes us unique. So thank you very much, Tim, and your team for the continued relationship. As Tim mentioned, I'm very open about communication with the IMOs that I support. I do work with Josh Johnson. He's my internal wholesaler partner. So if anything on this presentation interests you or you have questions that you're uncomfortable sharing on the webinar, that is my direct cell phone as well as email. So feel free to reach out for any sales support. We're here to help you present this to your clients and make sure it's a good fit. So this will also be at the end of the presentation. So what we're going to cover today are the 3 new strategies that we brought to market on the WealthChoice Index Annuity. That is our flagship national index annuity. So we're going to go through our guaranteed cap, our guaranteed par, and our trigger strategy that were added. All of these strategies are also added to our existing clients. So if you have a client that's already in the WealthChoice product, on anniversary, they'll be able to reallocate to any of these strategies we'll go through today. In addition, we're all adding a bailout to our S&P cap. So if you have a client in an S&P cap strategy and we pierce that bailout percentage on a renewal rate, they'll be able to get out penalty free at that point. And we'll go through that a little bit more in detail here. But really, what's the reason why we're adding these strategies? Why are we putting guaranteed bows on the product? And it's really to provide more certainty and confidence to you and your clients that we price the products appropriately. We've been talking about our renewal history for quite a while, and our top IMOs that help us distribute the product have really done a great job of telling the story about how we do business and making sure that we put the client first. And we do that using a stable option budget. So we spread out that option budget for the contract term. And so far, coming up on 5 years in February, we'll have 100% renewal history. And what that simply means is we've yet to drop a single index renewal rate on a consumer. So we do have a marketing piece out on our pre-sale website, if that's interesting to you. It talks about how we price our index annuity and why it's important to have those consistency of renewals. And we want to build on that. We really want to prove what we've been saying. 5 years is a substantial amount of time, but we want to prove that we stand behind these renewal rates. So we're going to add some guarantees to the Wealth Choice. First being the one I'm most excited about, a guaranteed cap rate. So the S&P annual point-to-point with a cap in 2024 is by far the number one most utilized strategy in our industry. So this is the only S&P point-to-point cap for this particular index that's available in the marketplace. So what I like about it is a very simple strategy. It's only 2 asset classes. We hear a lot from our advisors that they have a little bit of fatigue from the volatility control indices that have gained popularities in the lower interest rate environment in 2020. They've underperformed. They're hard to explain how they're traded, and there's too many asset classes. This particular index trades intraday every 30 minutes, up to every 30 minutes, I should say, just between S&P and cash, only 2 asset classes. Again, it's a guaranteed cap rate. It's for the surrender period, and it has an extremely high volatility target. The index itself has a 15% target, which if you look at any vol control indices out there, it actually is the highest target volatility in the marketplace. And why is high target volatility important? Well, I have that graph there on the right. You know, as an index annuity, you have a floor, that black line. If you have low volatility indice, that's going to be your light green line. You're going to have lower highs and lower lows. But when you already have that downside protection, having that more upside potential gives you more growth opportunities, and you're already protected on the downside. So what makes this index unique compared to, say, the other volatility control indices out there? Number one, the high volatility target. Number two, the simple design, only 2 strategies or asset classes, S&P and cash. The leverage potential. So what is leverage? Leverage simply means you can go more than 100% in a particular investment. So if volatility is below 15%, this index has the opportunity to use leverage up to a cap of 250%, capturing more of the return of the S&P. And maybe my favorite feature about this index is you're able to trade in and out of it. So if the client wants to go into our fixed rate year one, or they want to go into a participation rate on the S&P, they're more than capable to do that. We're still going to guarantee that cap rate for the full contract term. So they can trade in and out of the strategy as they need, knowing that certain it's not going to change until the end of the surrender period. So very flexible cap lock compared to some of our competitors where you have to allocate to it up front and you have to stay in that strategy or you lose it. This is not a use it or lose it. You can use it and then change the strategy on an annual basis and go back to it at any point. Now, most folks are pretty familiar with the volatility index or the VIX to measure volatility, and that's the S&P fear gauge, right? The more options that are traded in the marketplace, the higher the VIX, the lower the VIX. Typically, a higher VIX means more volatility and potentially a decreasing market. You could see on the screen in 2020, right when COVID hit, there was a lot of uncertainty in trading action, which drove the market down into a recession, and you see that gray line indicated there. Now, this particular index targets 15%. The VIX is 19 to 20. The index itself does not use the VIX as a volatility measurement to trade to. It actually uses something called realized volatility. Now, realized volatility, the main difference is that it's what actually happened. So it's a backward-looking 30-day measurement, looking at price fluctuations, helping gauge what future risks might be in the marketplace, compared to the VIX, which is a future-looking 30-day on what might happen. So usually if you're uncertain and it's a measurement of what might happen, it's typically a little bit higher. So the VIX averages 19 to 20, the realized volatility 16 to 17. But in general, they're very, very close. And both of these can be reviewed on the Chicago Board of Exchange. I've got them both on the screen here. Your green line is your realized volatility. Your gray line is your volatility index or your VIX. So it's just going to trade to that realized volatility target of 15% every single day, up to 13 times a day. If you have questions about the index and how it's traded to the target volatility, certainly reach out and we can provide you resources and education. Now, I talked a little bit about leverage, and I wanted to show you all the actual weights in the index over the past year. And on the screen are the percentage of leverage on the S&P based on averages per month. So back in May, bull market, very, very low volatility. The index used a cap leverage of 175% in the month of May, meaning it was capturing more of the upside, and if it was a downturn, it would capture more of the downside. But because the volatility was low, we were able to use more in the options to buy more of the S&P. Now, fast forward to August, we had some uncertainty in the political environment. We had a candidate drop out of the race. We had an assassination attempt, and there was just a lot of uncertainty politically in the United States, which caused the volatility and the realized volatility to go up, and the actual weight in the S&P dropped to around 75% on average in August. So it's just going to vary based on the amount of volatility and rebalance to that 15% target. For example, in August, the week of August 12th, the measurement of the realized volatility was 21. So it needed to rebalance a portion into cash to get back to that 15% target. And it's only between S&P and cash. Now, your next question may be, well, how did it perform? And how long has it been around? Well, this index has been around for 15 months of live data. It does have a sister index called the Daily Risk Control 15, also designed by S&P Global. Year-to-date return up 18.33% compared to the S&P at 23.5. So the goal of this index is to provide more upside with a higher cap rate, a more stable renewal story, and consistency and credibility, with flexibility to be able to trade in and out. Now, the sister index has been around since 2009. That's the Daily Risk Control 15, also built by S&P. That one trades at the end of the day to a 15% target and has a cap of leverage of 150%. This trades up to 13 times a day with a cap on the leverage at 250%. So it's going to mitigate any intraday volatility, but when markets are cool, low volatility, it's going to be able to capture more of the upside. But a very, very similar index if you want something with a little more history. Now, we understand that the S&P US large cap equities are not always going to be the #1 performer. They've been extremely strong over the past 5 years. The turquoise color boxes on this screen are going to be your large cap US equity over the past 20 years. And we know we need more than just S&P. When the US is underperforming, we have to have client options that provide that commitment and certainty, while also giving them the international exposure they desire. So the next index that we are launching is Barclays Global Quality 5%, slightly lower volatility target. However, you're going to get access to European equities and debt, Japanese, other Asian equities and debt, along with commodities. And really, they're going to target equities with stable earnings and cash flows from the top 140 US and international stocks on the equity side. And the beauty of this index is the S&P is near all-time highs right now, and you certainly can use it. But when there's underperformance, you can reallocate to this strategy knowing it's going to be guaranteed for this surrender period. This will be launched and is live at 165% participation rate and can be moved in and out of just like that guaranteed cap rate. The last strategy that was added is a simple performance trigger. We've been hearing from our advisors that the simple 2-outcome performance is a great simple strategy for some of their clients. There's only, again, 2 outcomes. If the market on the S&P is flat or up, they're going to get that stated pre-interest credit every single year. Now, this particular strategy is not guaranteed, but it is available now on all WealthChoice policyholders and can be reallocated to at any time and is on this straight S&P 500. Now, the last feature that we're adding, it's not a strategy per se, but more of a feature to provide additional certainty and a safety net on the renewals and decreasing interest rates, is a bailout. So every client will have a bailout percentage. It's added to the annual S&P point to point with a cap. And if we ever drop renewal rates to that bailout percentage or below, the client can get out penalty free. It will be set based on when they open a contract with us. Right now, we have a cap set at on our 10-year at 8%, and then the bailout's at 6%. So if we ever drop the rates more than 2%, the client can get out penalty free at that point. And I'll go through the rate sheet here in a minute and show you where we're seeing some flows right out of the gates with the launch on Monday. So what we covered today, real quick, was the new guaranteed strategies to provide more certainty in our renewals, both with a cap on a very familiar S&P 15% target volatility strategy, international diversification par rate with a well-known brand in Barclays, a simple strategy with that performance trigger on the straight S&P 500, and then the bailout safety net added to the annual point-to-point with a cap. You'll see that on our rate sheet. That light green line is going to be the bailout cap. So that's if we ever reduce our rates, that would be the minimum rate that we could lower it to without allowing full liquidity. The TCA Index, the one I'm most excited about, is toward the bottom there. On the right, we'll have a guaranteed cap at 13.25%. I'll say that again, guaranteed cap 13.25% for 10 years. You can move in and out of that strategy, and its goal is to have similar type returns to the S&P. So giving you more upside, flexibility, and certainty with that guaranteed strategy. That fixed rate at the top in that light gray area, that is a lifetime rate. 3% is, it may not seem like a great rate right now. You can get 4% in a money market account, but that's not just a rate for 10 years. That's a rate for as long as the client holds the contract. So if rates do come down, a 3% rate might be fantastic, and that simply cannot change. So we want to provide that floor on the fixed bucket side. With that, Tim, I want to throw my contact information back on the screen for anybody that wants to reach out direct to either myself or my internal partner, Josh. And I want to, again, thank you, Tim, for allowing me to jump on and share these new and exciting features that were added to our product to enhance the credibility in our renewals.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Nate. Do appreciate that. We do have a couple minutes here for any questions that have popped up. But in the meantime, I do want to launch my second poll here. I have a feeling we're going to get a bunch of yeses, and that is, would you like some more information about GILICO's annuities and contracting? So we've got that poll going on here right now. I don't see any questions that have popped up just quite yet. I think you did a good job. I will highlight a few things here. Just, again, if you're utilizing a vol control strategy, utilizing a vol control that has the highest upside should be part of what you're looking at, right? So if you have a vol control that's a very low upside, we already know with FIAs that zero is your hero. So we want to implement the best strategies. And I really think that that's where this product definitely wins. I do appreciate all of the participation on that poll there. Nate, thank you again for hopping on here. Everybody in attendance will be reaching out here shortly, get you those illustrations and contracting going. Nate, anything else you wanted to add here before we tell everybody to have a great rest of their day?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me. And this is the holiday season, so I want to wish everybody a very happy, healthy Thanksgiving and holiday season, and look forward to having the opportunity to work with you.
Awesome, everybody. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon. Bye now.